I'm going to start this video with two subjects I've got to kind of explain. I'm going to start with Captain Steve. Now, that's his YouTube channel. Now, he does mostly aviation-related stuff. He's a retired airline captain, so that's kind of where he bases his YouTube channel is on aircraft-related general incidents. You know, he'll have a tower communication where a pilot has either handled something properly or maybe he screws up and gets reprimanded by the tower controller or somebody on the ground or whatever. Or sometimes it does result in a not so nice outcome. But anyway, a question. Well, Captain Steve is professed Christian. He did have a ministry. He did have a small congregation somewhere. But anyway, someone had asked him about the rapture. Now, if you don't know what the rapture is, now I don't personally believe in it, but I am familiar with it. Now, the rapture is that certain period of time that it's not even in the Bible. I mean, some passages will claim it is, but it's not. It's not really part of the Bible. So, but anyway, now the belief is that at a certain point in time, God will say, "Hey, look, I'm going to take all the righteous, all the God-fearing people, the ones that have followed me, and everybody else will be left behind, and will have to fend for themselves." And it's like, I don't know what, it's a certain period of time of tribulation where there's nothing but war and pestilence and some not so nice stuff. But anyway, something that I'd asked, asked the question with Ask of Steve, that let's say there's two airline pilots that are devout Christians that might be called up in the rapture that might not be able, well, let's say you had two airline pilots that were devout Christians that piloting an aircraft, and suddenly God calling them up. And I mean, the idea would be that you wouldn't want an aircraft with a God calling up the both pilots. I'm trying to phrase this correctly, but you'd want to have pair a righteous Christian with a non-righteous Christian, so that if God did call up in the rapture all the devout subjects, there would still be somebody to fly and land the plane. This guy would probably be scratching his head and where'd my buddy Joe go? Joe was just there and he's gone. Yeah, I know he was a Christian. I know he believed in the rapture, but he's just gone. What the hell happened? But anyway, let's say Fred is the guy that's a non-Christian, a non-believer. He gets to land the plane and wondering what happened to his buddy Joe. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. It's kind of a bizarre question, but I guess it's a relevant question. And Captain Steve was saying, no, that didn't really happen. The airlines didn't really plan around that. That would be kind of a bizarre thing to do. Next thing I want to cover is for Sabina Hossenfelder. Now, latest video, she talked about panspermia. Now, I didn't coin the term. It's been around there. It's been around for a long, long time. Now, let me tell you what panspermia is. Now, it's the idea that life here on Earth, the actual, the early microbes and stuff actually come from somewhere else. Well, the idea is, let's say you got a planet off in the cosmos somewhere, billions of light years away from Earth, and that billions of years ago, for some reason, it was blown into bits. But there's rocks that still have a little bit of the bacteria, the microbes or whatever attached to them. And these microbes survive through the harshness of space, the vacuum, the cold, the intense radiation. That's what panspermia is. That somehow some of the microbes, the bacteria, survive the travel, the time, the harshness of space, and they land here on Earth. Maybe a few million years ago when the Earth was ready to be seeded. That's kind of the idea behind panspermia. The only comment I can make on, now hang on. I got my phone in my left hand. Now I'm not going to explain for the kiddos here, what part of my body my right hand is on, but I must say I got your panspermia right here. Yeah, I'm entitled to a little bit of I can't see it. I'm entitled to have my fun. I'm gonna keep this channel kid friendly, but for Sabina, I got my panspermia right here. You can ignore this. Just I'm a bit on the kinky side. Let's say okay. The next one I'm gonna cover. I got my list here on old tractor feed paper. There's gotta be kiddos out there that have no idea what a tractor feed paper, what tractor feed printer is. That's stuff on this side is from a week ago. I just keep adding to it until I get a page full. But anyway, the next I watched a handful of these videos here. They're pretty much all the same on these. The cars starting at about 2021, all the new ones. If you notice, they all got that little antenna on the back of them. That's not just for the infotainment center. Now, these cars are talking back and forth. And if somebody somewhere decides they don't like how you're driving, they just shut your car down. This is a handful of videos that all the new cars have the software on there that if they don't like how you're driving, they just shut your car down. All our elected officials have approved this. Hey, if you're a voter and you voted for a particular congressman or senator or whatever, hey, go ask them what the hell they were thinking. Say, hey, do I have to do I have to become a gearhead? Do I have to buy an older car that doesn't have this technology on there to not have to worry about my car just getting shut down somewhere because somebody somewhere, not a judge, not a jury, not a elected police officer, a sworn peace officer is what I should say, not someone that's answerable to a judge or someone like that. Just someone somewhere says we don't like how you're driving, we're just going to shut your car down. All the new cars have this software on there. They call it a kill switch. Maybe they see you acting erratically and they say, well, this person is on drugs or drunk or something. You can kind of understand the logic there. But they may just arbitrarily decide they don't like you and just shut your car down and say, well, I don't care you paid $50,000 for this car. You ain't driving it today because I say so. Call it kill switch. Unless you're a gearhead, unless you know how to fix older stuff that doesn't have those all that software crap on there. Just putting that out there. Let's see, what else have I got on here? Yeah, I think I've covered most of the stuff here. Oh, from Maria Reich. That's her. She's a Schlager singer. Well, I don't know if I'd call it. It's mostly in German. I think I think her mother is Latina and her father is German. Most of her music is in German, but she does have music with Spanish in it. She's got one or two videos in English, music videos. She's got one or two songs in English. One song that she sang, Das Paradies in deinen Augen. The paradise in your eyes. Das Paradies in deinen Augen. The paradise in your eyes. I can't get that out of my head. It's, search here on YouTube, Das Paradies in deinen Augen, and it'll probably be rattling around in your head too, and you'll thank me or not for putting that song. Listen to it. It's a very pretty song, Das Paradies in deinen Augen. But she's got a new one. It's Maria, common Hispanic spelling, Reich, R-Y-K-E. But anyway, it's Buenas noches, señor. That's the only Spanish in it. The rest of it's in German. Yeah, but she's got part of it out. That's about all she has is those words over and over again with a handful of words in German. You'll thank me for that because it'll be rattling around in your brain also. Or maybe you got some other crazy song rattling around in your brain. Or maybe you're worried about the rapture. I remember when I was a kid, I kind of bought into the rapture. I kind of bought into stuff like that when I was a kid. I said, well, maybe at some point in time, God will find me worthy of being summoned up. But then, a number of preachers come out and said, well, it's not written in the Bible. It's probably not true. But anyway, whatever you believe, hey, you might not want to get on that plane because at some point in time, God may say, hey, both you pilots are worthy servants of mine. And out you go. You're coming up to heaven with me, and I don't care what happens to the other non-believers in the cabin, in the aircraft. They get to crash. Just my weird thoughts. Bye. Que vaya con Dios. Das Verstanya. Das Leben ist ein Abenteuer. Das Leben ist nicht einfach. C'est la vie. And bye for now. Oh, mahalo and cheerio.